Once upon a time, family planning was accomplished by war, pestilence, famine. Iran was no exception. But that was long ago. Today, Iran is developing fast. At the same time, its population is growing, its growth rate one of the highest in the world. But Iran is a land without water, which simply cannot sustain a population multiplying at such a speed. Here, a new realization that there can be no successful national development plan without the individual family plan. Within its own framework for development, Iran has set up a special department and unit to promote the concept and acceptance of family planning. The ancient capital of Iran is Isfahan, in the heart of the country, the setting for a family planning communication project with lessons for everyone. The province of Isfahan is typical of this country of more than 50,000 villages, where nearly all of Iran's multiplying population lives, works, and is born. Stage 1. Get services out to the people. Make it possible for family planning advice and facilities to be available in the rural areas as well as in the cities. Establish health centres and clinics out there in the countryside, where advice and instruction on family planning method and procedure, a supply of contraceptives, and clinical assistance can be made available for the entire rural population. Stage 2. Communication. The Isfahan Communication Project recorded a more than 60% increase in family planning acceptance. What overcame traditional fear and prejudice? What got these women here in the first place? Let's ask them. I heard about it on the radio. A health worker called on me. A friend told me. Saw something about it in the newspaper. There was a talk on the radio. Saw a poster in the street. Here was a successful mass media campaign. Successful because it was founded on research into the attitudes and beliefs of the community. Its messages were developed on the basis of this research. Its materials pre-tested before being finally used. The first 3 months of the campaign were devoted to an extensive radio campaign. The family planning slogan that 2 children are better and contraceptive methods safe went out over the air 8 or more times a day. 1,500 women who had recently had babies received an envelope containing information on family planning, inviting them with their friends to a clinic. Thousands of advertisements were printed and placed in newspapers. Short films were made and shown in cinemas. Banners and posters displayed in the streets. Step by step, the momentum of this mass media campaign was sustained. constant interaction, feedback between communicators and field workers. Essential to success, the simultaneous training of more field workers from amongst the people themselves. Like granny midwives, ladies who had more pregnancies in the past than they now know to be desirable or even necessary for another generation. Village leaders can be family planning field workers too. Once they accept new attitudes and ways of life, then they in turn can influence the entire community. Health, agricultural, educational extension workers in development projects all can and should be family planning communicators. In adult literacy classes, as you learn to read and write, so too you can learn the need for smaller families. In this campaign in Esfahan, a payment of money is made to everyone who can introduce a new acceptor. No charge to the acceptor. A gynecologist supervises the training of doctors, paid according to the prescription or service they provide. Contracts negotiated with doctors to provide family planning services. But constant reinforcement over a long period is still and always will be necessary to ensure that once an acceptor, always an acceptor. Extension personnel, field workers, must go on knocking at those doors, keeping in touch, maintaining contact, face to face. Reinforcement and expansion. As television arrives on the scene to join with radio as another arm of the mass media, so another channel opens up for family planning communication and feedback. The field workers make the program director aware of the thinking in the community. The director, in turn, informs the broadcasters. There are many things to learn from Esfahan. The use of commercial channels to reach remote villages with contraceptive supplies. The use of mobile units to provide a contraceptive service, whether it be a uterine insertion or a vasectomy. The coordination of health services with family planning. Contracting with qualified doctors. Selecting and training field workers. And using local people to promote family planning. But the need to integrate fieldwork and field workers with your mass media campaign is the great lesson of Esfahan. 2 children are better, and contraceptive methods safe. But by itself, the message isn't enough.